This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. The Huntsville, Alabama Hamfest was a big success last weekend. They set a new attendance record of 5,981, with patrons from Canada, Germany, and Bermuda in attendance. This was accomplished by a group effort with the help of 17 committee chairs and 108 volunteers, lending their time and effort to host what is billed as the world's friendliest Hamfest. They invite everyone to come back next year's Huntsville Hamfest on August 16th and 17th, 2025, where they promise an even bigger Hamfest. This past week, the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club had an exam session, and congratulations to the 6 test takers who successfully passed their technician class exam. 5 of them have already gotten their call signs. Congratulations to these new hams: Robert Smith, KF8CAC, Michael Pins, KQ4UUM, Donald Moe, KQ4UUO, Daryl Moe, KQ4UUT, and Cliff Ravenscraft, KQ4UUR. Listen out for them on the air and welcome them to the ham radio hobby. August 24th is the Ohio QSO Party, which is an excellent opportunity for your club to be in-demand multiplier station without having to go on a de-expedition. It also gives you an excellent opportunity to get on the air and make some of those difficult contacts. So get ready for the Ohio State QSO Party. For more information, go to ohqp.org. The QCEN has decided to participate in the Ohio QSO Party on Saturday, August 24th from noon to about 6 p.m. Bob, W8MRG, and Tom, W8TWD, will be coordinating the event. If you're interested in joining in on the fun, contact Tom, W8TWD, by email at watwd@yahoo.com. The 3rd annual Summits on the Air Kentucky Campout will be held on the weekend of April 12, 2025. Pancake breakfast at 8 a.m. Sunday morning. Make your reservations now by calling 606-589-2478 at Kingdom Come State Park, which is a primitive campground with a limited running water and a privy toilets, with the nearest town in Cumberland, Kentucky. For more information, contact Michael, N4DCW. Amateur radio operators in the Commonwealth of Kentucky are in need of someone who is enthusiastic, energetic, forward-thinking, and willing to step out of the box with some new imaginative and innovative approaches to run for the position of the American Radio Relay League Kentucky Section Manager. Well, I think all of us have had some issues and disappointments with the ARRL. The time has come for imaginative, innovative thinking amateur radio operators in Kentucky to come together and select a candidate who will be able to propel the ARRL Kentucky section into the future rather than living in the past. Do you know that special person? If so, talk to them and convince them of the necessity of stepping forward and applying for nomination to the Kentucky Section Manager position. The future of amateur radio in the Commonwealth of Kentucky is dependent upon us finding and electing that special person who has the skills to bring us forward. If you have questions on what the position entails, please reach out to the Great Lakes Division Director, Scott Yonley, N8SY. The Ukiah Amateur Radio Society will again be operating the Big Six booth at the Harvest Home Fair and need your help to volunteer for this event. The fair will be held on Friday, September 6th from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, September 7th from noon to 11, and Sunday, September 8th from noon to 8 p.m. This event is an important fundraiser which allowed the Ukiah Amateur Radio Society to provide a lot back to the community. If you can assist in the event, reach out to Kitty, W8TDA, at KHEVENER at fuse.net. The Amateur Radio Emergency Team of Northern Kentucky, KY6ET, will be meeting on August 26th at 7 p.m. at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. This meeting will have the election of the new leadership team for the group under the new Constitution. If you're interested in amateur radio emergency communications, this is a great group to get involved in and get involved on the ground level. On Saturday, August 31st, the Ukiah Amateur Radio Society will be setting up a booth at the 1940s Day event at the Cincinnati Museum Center from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're looking for help in manning the booth and bringing equipment to display for the event. If you can help out with this event, please contact George, N3VQW, at GGARDEI@MSN.com. September 7th is the Ohio State Parks on the Air event from 1400 hours UTC to 2200 hours UTC. For more information, go to ospota.org. September 7th is the Young's Charity Bike Ride from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Amateur radio volunteers are needed to cover the riders in a large area from Young's to Mosini, Ohio. If you can help out, contact Bob, N8ADO, at n8ADO@woh.rr.com. The Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will hold their annual Family and Friends Picnic on September 9th at 5 p.m. at the Shiloh Park Shelter No. 2. On September 14th at 1 p.m., the Brunch Bunch will meet at the Acapulco Authentic Restaurant, 5953 Boymel Drive in Fairfield, Ohio. The Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association will be busy in the month of September working a couple of events. First is the Lake Cumberland Air Show at the Lake Cumberland Regional Airport on September 21st, where they'll be setting up the MCON trailer and demonstrating amateur radio to the visiting community, as well as setting up a speaker for the audio of the performing pilots at the air show. The second event will be on September 28th, where they'll be again at the Summer Nights Cruise Corvette Summer Showcase, setting up the MCON trailer and running a special event station, K4S, again this year. Invite everyone interested in either one of these two events to reach out to Mike, KY6MM, who is coordinating these events. Both will be a great time. The Air Force Marathon is looking for a few good hams to volunteer and to provide communications assistance for the event on Saturday, September 21st in the area of the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force. For more information or to volunteer, email Bob, N8ADO@afm.hams@gmail.com.
Repeater news.
The 14679 repeater in central Casey County, Kentucky is back on the air, and it also has an all-star link on node number 553190 and Echo Link at KK4KTV-L, Echo Link node number 754082. Listen out for a change in frequencies for the Elkton, Kentucky repeater, which is currently on 146.810, which will be soon moving to 146.700 with a DCS of 115.
Hamfest.
September 7th is the Greater Louisville Hamfest at the Parquet Springs Conference Center, 395 Parquet Springs Drive in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Talking will be on the 146.700 machine with a PL of 79.7. September 8th is the Findlay, Ohio Hamfest at the Hancock County Fairgrounds, 1017 East Sandusky Street in Findlay, Ohio. Talking on the 147.150 repeater with a PL of 88.5. On September 14th, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. is the Richmond, Kentucky Hamfest at the Madison County Fairgrounds, 3237 Old Kentucky Highway 52 in Richmond, Kentucky. On September 14th is the Mound Amateur Radio Association Hamfest Swap Meet at 900 Mound Road in Miamisburg, Ohio, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, contact Jason, N8CMM, at jspot1677@gmail.com. On September 22nd is the Cleveland, Ohio Hamfest at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds, 164 Eastland Road in Berea, Ohio. Talking on the 145.410 repeater with a PL of 110.9. September 28th is the Paintsville KY4ARC Hamfest at the Paintsville Recreation Center, 232 Preston Street in Paintsville, Kentucky. For more information, go to ky4arc.com. The Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society in Lexington, Kentucky Hamfest, originally scheduled for October the 5th, has been canceled. October 19th from 8 a.m. to noon at the Laughley Valley Fall Hamfest at the Brighton, Indiana Lions Club, 2160 Lamplight Drive in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. The Grant Radio Club has announced the return of the Georgetown, Ohio Hamfest this year on November the 9th from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. The Moorhead Amateur Radio Society will host an amateur radio exam session on September 5th at 6 p.m. at 99 Lake Park Drive in Moorhead, Kentucky. On September 14th at 10 a.m., the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/session/WC8VOA. On September 14th, the Richmond Hamfest will have a testing session around noon. Go to kn4s.com/amateur.html. On September 16th at 5:30 p.m., the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio exam session at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. You must register by emailing Mark Volstead, AI4BJ at MVOLSTAD@TWC.com. On October 12th at 10 a.m., the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On November 9th at 10 a.m., the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On December 7th at 10 a.m., the amateur radio exam session will be held at the Georgetown Police Department, 550 Bourbon Street in Georgetown, Kentucky. You must register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WX4GPS. Special thanks to this week's content contributors: KE4WA, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana tri-state area. This is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.